It's kind of like that. So they're getting this energetic vibration off of the door to this connection, to this relationship, and it feels really, really good.
I shade my little bugs. This is your girl, Empress Queen Goddess, the Georgia Peach with the sweet meat. I hope all is well with the loved ones today. As for me, I'm well. Trying to cook. I'm cooking me some spaghetti today, boo boo.
Let's get into
but I'm we're gonna get into CJ Darling. But now I see my girl Earth Vibes is live doing a Capricorn collective. So we're gonna listen to her. How about that? What's up, big old boo boo?
Lust, playful, and deceit. Okay, so there's this energy of, again, letting go of something in order to gain something else, making the choice or decision.
I got a schedule for 2 o'clock
and it's
my live,
making this choice,
but I'm trying to cook. But I see she on, so I'm watch her. Let y'all listen to her for a little while
that could be very beneficial for me, going with what I feel, or am I going to head towards something else, which is a very lusty, playful energy, but it doesn't seem to be very beneficial to them. So there's this choice to choosing this higher feeling. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this energy, Capricorn. What's up, Empress Goddess? Yeah, you are actually early. We are literally just getting started. All right, we are taking a look at this energy for Capricorn. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. As it pertains to this energy that we're tapped into here, Spirit shows what we need to see for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter as it relates to this energy. Past life relationship and wedding. Y'all listen. Past life relationship and wedding. This is, it's sometimes I get a good feeling. I get a feeling that I never felt before. I get a good feeling, yeah. It's a feeling. It's a feeling. It's a feeling. It's a feeling. It's like, I know that there is more to this than just the physical. I know that what I'm feeling here within this connection, within this relationship, is more than just the physical, and wanting, knowing, being intuitively inclined to the information that this is going to lead to something long term. All right. So whatever this connection is, whoever you guys are involving yourself with, if you are resonating here, this is going to lead to some sort of long-term commitment. You guys are going to establish something in the long term. And that's because, again, what's behind this door, this forbidden energy, what's behind this door is everything that both you and them could possibly want. But because it's in the middle of nowhere, right? And it's taken forever to get to this door. You've been chopping down trees. You got your machete. You got your Band-Aids and your t-shirt wrapped around your arm. And your hair is in the messiest of a bun. And your shorts are riding up so tight that your crotch is on fire. And you're looking like freaking Indiana Jones, G.I. Jane combination going on here. You don't know you're scared. You're on guard. And you're like, bro, listen, I ain't quite sure if this is, you know what I'm saying? But you have to go based off of that feeling. And it's that intuitive energy, that intuitive knowing that this is something that's right. And it's crazy because we try to use logic so much, but we know not just as empaths, not just as light workers, star seeds, whatever label you want to put on us. No, it is not just in general. Listen, you've been through a lot. We've been through a lot. We know that logic is not always going to work in situations in life. It's not always going to be a logical thing. Sometimes you have to be in tune with what you are feeling in order to get the decision right. And And anybody well enough knows that those of us that have been through anything, right? You know that sometimes you have to trust, believe, and have faith more than you can logically think through anything. And you tell people, you're just like, I just had this feeling and I went with it. It wasn't anything logical. It wasn't I just feel it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just feel it. And it's a feeling that feels right. You feel at home. Your intuition is peaked. You feel good. It's a calming energy. Because behind the door, where we had forbidden, we could have very well had lust and deceit. These two cards could have very well been behind the door, but instead we had belonging and high priestess of spirit. It's crazy to see the energy unfolding because we can feel it. And they know, we know that this is a relationship or a connection that the energy has been around before. And anybody that knows well enough knows about energy, understands energy. Energy is not created nor destroyed. So this is a connection, again, that's just coming back around. The wheel has turned. And again, that choice or decision that we get to make, it's about the duality. It's about, are you going to go back around the wheel to the left, or are you going to go to, forward on towards the right? It's up to you. It's up to you. We have to be able to feel things sometimes. And a part of that journey to get to the door, this quote unquote forbidden energy, is those trials and tribulations where we have to learn to trust your intuition, trust your gut, find the confidence and strength, inner strength within yourself to overcome, because it's not always logical. That's why we have pentacles, swords, wands, and cups, because it's all together and individually. We have to use these elements, this energy, in order to overcome and achieve. And at this point that we're reaching the door, it's asking you, with energies of fire and of water, what do you feel? In what direction are you going to move? And this is not necessarily something, again, that you're going to be able to logically process. And this person is realizing this. This is both them and this is you. This is a logical understanding. This is a processing and an understanding that this is not something that's going to be easy. Because feeling, intuition, empathy, that's not easy, right? Living that life day to day, moment to moment, is not easy. It's easier to just kind of logically go through life. It's not easy to trust and have faith and believe in what your intuition is telling you, what you can't see, what isn't written down. That's hard. That's difficult. So you have to give yourself a little bit of grace. You gotta give yourself a little bit of grace. And them too. Because this is a decision that's going to monumentally change your life. And you can see that by just looking at this door. This door is the entranceway to the new beginning. And based off of what you consciously are choosing is going to determine what is through this door. Because again, we have that choices, deceit and lust energy. You have the choice to choose between this devil-like quality or the latter. And again, this is going to be up to you. And when you consciously make that decision, that's what's going to be through the door. And I feel like this person knows, and they are very much aware of the fact that through this door, especially with the feeling that they're getting with you or you with them, is the fact that this is going to lead to something long-term. This is an energy of a person that you could spend the rest of your days with. This is a person that you would be able to grow with, learn from, become this change agent. Show us more here, Spirit, for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. I do not speak Arabic, my love. I am sorry. We have energy of flirt. Extend your lighthearted energy to others. Yes. Okay. So this is going to progress. There's going to be action taken. Sorry if you guys can hear the cars outside. There's going to be action taken, movement occurring. And this flirt energy is giving me like page potential type energy. It's like there's the potential for this to turn into something else, but trying to kind of test the waters. This flirt energy is giving me wanting to test the waters, trying to, again, like getting to know each other, trying to see where this could go, trying to see the true potential in this energy, because there is this confirmation of something being felt. And again, this past life relationship energy is the vibration coming off of that door. So extending the lighthearted energy to others coming through is allowing them to kind of feel through this energy and feel, okay, am I going to truly take these steps to come forward, or am I going to go towards the other energy, right? Let's get one or two more here, please, Spirit, for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Look at that. Heart-to-heart conversations. Honestly discuss your feelings with each other. This person is going to, again, this could be you, this could be them, reaching out to one another, reaching out to the other person in order to really figure out what's going on here. Where is this going to go? What are we going to do? Because again, this is trying to feel this energetic vibration before making a final decision here. Wanting to learn more about each other, wanting to learn more about what is wanted. Again, what is the potential here? The potential to this situation. And attraction being at the bottom of the deck. Again, this is you being you continuing to do what you do. This person, again, you or them, very, very energetically attracted to this door, to this new beginning, to this next phase. And giving just enough to see where the potential actually lies. All right. Let's keep going. Let's get the tarot. What are we going to use? What are we going to use? All right. We'll use the radiant wise. All right, angel spirits and guides, we thank you so much for this beautiful energy bringing us all here together. We're looking at Capricorn's energy in love, this new beginning, next level energy that's coming in for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Look at that. Did I not say page energy? And this is literally flirting. This is getting to know each other. This is talking. This is friendship energy. This is potential. Did I not say page potential type energy coming in with this flirt? Yes. So there is going to be some flirting going on. You guys are going to be having some conversations with one another, very lighthearted conversations with one another. It's this person trying to figure out what it is that you actually want. This is also sharing love, sharing light, sharing happiness, right? Talking about good things, talking about what could be with each other, okay? All right, this is for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Okay. Knight of Cups, King of Cups trying to come out. This person there's a lot of emotion here. This person is highly intuitive. Capricorn, you could be dealing with a water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, an air sign, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. But this person, above all, is very in tuned to their intuition, into their third eye, their higher guidance system, God, angels, ancestors, all of that. This person is definitely coming forward with an emotional offer, opportunity. I feel like there is this element of surprise kind of working in the dark, working at night. I feel like this person is also still holding back and hiding a lot. That's why this like potential energy is there. And the page and the knight are kind of surrounding the king, right? There's like this disguise, because this person is using this as like their energetic feelers before they put out that king quality energy 100%, because they're trying to feel what's on the other side. They're doing a very, very, very good job about this. Yeah, definitely moving in silence here, love. Excuse me. Look at this. Yes. The moon, 8 of cups, 5 of swords. Yeah, this person is doing a lot of quiet, silent movement towards ending of cycles, right? Movement towards ending of cycles, completion of something, finalizing something. Something's being finalized. I definitely feel like whoever this is, this person is very, very loving. They're a very loving individual. Show us more here for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter in love. Higher level of commitment energy. Past life relationship energy. Definitely marriage. There's definitely going to be a lot of talk. And look at this. We have the Chariot, the 10 of Pentacles, and the King of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. Big home life energy. Big family energy. Big husband, spousal energy with the Hierophant and the King of Pentacles. This is definitely a spouse wanting to be a spouse or a spouse of some sort. This is definitely the home, especially with the Chariot and the 10 of Pentacles. I feel like this person is really wanting to come back into, like, come to your life. Like, this energy is trying to make its way, and it's vibrating very strongly off of this door. Whoever this person is for you, they're wanting commitment. They're wanting commitment, whoever this is. And this is big spousal energy. This person may even want to move in with you, live with you, create a home life with you. This person is very much masculine. There is a lot of masculine energy here. So whoever this is coming towards you is very much a masculine. There is a lot of energy of taking action, making moves. But remember, this energy is interchangeable. But there is this want to create a very stable environment, stable home life environment where there is a lot of love, where there is tradition, where there is security, where there is trust. It's literally like not wanting to not wanting to have anything unstable. They want this to be very sure. Like I want to be sure that this is it. And I mean, with this wedding energy, it's still about stability and, you know, something that is long term. Capricorn, Virgo, Taurian energy here. Taurian energy here. You could be dealing with a Taurus. You could be dealing with a Cancer or a Scorpio. Definitely water, definitely earth. Lots of water, lots of earth. This is I mean, I'm almost like shocked or stunned by the energy, because it's like this person wants commitment. And I feel like they know they want this commitment, and it's a little scary or nerve-wracking here. 5 of Pentacles and reverse. Yeah. I feel like this person is no longer thinking negatively, no longer thinking pessimistically. They're being more optimistic about a situation. Show us more here, Spirit, please. Yeah, Ace of Swords. I feel like this person is coming out of the darkness and coming forward with some sort of a truth, coming into the light about something, no longer being quiet or cut off about a situation. Yeah, the world. It's like bringing something full circle. Four of Wands. There's definitely going to be a conversation here that comes through. This conversation is going to be laying everything out on the table. This person's going to be very raw, open and honest about certain things. This person may even open up some of their wounds here a little bit, because I feel like they just want to be open and honest about the situation, about what they want. And I feel like a lot of this is having to do with what they were feeling, what they were going through. And we have the 3 of Wands here. Yeah, I feel like this person really wants to discuss the future, the potential, where you guys could go. This person is definitely looking to move things to the next level with the World and the 3 of Wands. I do feel like this person is wanting to take things to the next level. This is literally wanting to take something to the next level. Let's start like working on something. Let's start doing something. We do have the 3 of Pentacles, the 6 of Cups, and the Queen of Cups here at the bottom of the deck. So this person may be wanting to build some sort of a family, some sort of a relationship. They see you as a soul partner, as their mate. Ooh. Sorry, I'm just reading through y'all comments. Got the 7 of Wands. Let's see, what wants to come through with the 7 of Wands? And the 2 of Wands. So there's a little bit of like energetic hesitation here. little bit of energetic hesitation. And again, I feel like this is because of not knowing if it's going to be successful or not. But are you ever going to know if anything is successful or not unless you just go for it? Yeah, the Empress. Oh my good golly gosh. I definitely feel like you guys are going to be seeing some sort of transition or change within the connection, especially if you're resonating with this message. Somebody coming forward, coming out of the dark, coming out of this hidden or silent type energy, and really wanted to discuss the future, wanting to discuss even their feelings, their emotions, and you know what's happening, what's going on within them, and where they want to see things go forward with the two of you. I definitely see some sort of a birth or creation of a very successful relationship if you guys allow it. All right, so let's go ahead and let's see. I think the board's okay for now. I think the board is okay for now. It's not too cluttered. Let's go ahead and do a little clarifying here. We're gonna use the we're gonna use the energy oracle to do a little clarifying. All right. Angel spirits and guides, we thank you so much for this beautiful energy. I love and appreciate you guys so much. Woo. Let's go ahead and see what is coming through here for the collective in regards to oh my god. Man holding a coin. Bro. Capricorn, Virgo, Taurian energy here. King of Pentacles energy coming out double time. I definitely feel like this person is they're definitely a stable individual. You know, they have their shit together. This person is looking for, I feel like, a partner in love. I feel like they're definitely looking for not necessarily just a partner, you know, in crime, but, you know, someone that they can build with, literally build with, consciously, emotionally, spiritually. It's them wanting to build and grow in all aspects and levels of life. And, you know, this, oh my goodness. Exposure. Yes, definitely big CEO, boss, influencer type energy. We have the angel of strength, and we have yin and yang type energy. This person's energy is, whew, it's very powerful. It's very, very powerful. And we have community at the bottom of the deck. I feel like this person, you know, they make a statement or an impact wherever they go. It's like, you know, the people in their community love them. The people, you know, that they're involved with appreciate them, really do. You know, it's like this very strong held type energy. For some people, it's like, you know, people don't make moves unless they say something, which is interesting. Wow. Whatever those moves may be. Yeah, this person's energy is very potent, to say the least. It's a very potent energy. So yes, your moon and rising sign, you can Google cafe astrology. I really like that one, or the what's the other one? The Astro Wiki one. I really do like that one. But it, if you look up what your moon sign means and what your rising sign means, you'll get that information. And it's good to kind of watch those readings together to get a better picture on what could be going on in your life. Anyway, yeah, this is Big Daddy, Big Dick, big energy. All right. So whether this is you, Capricorn, or whether this is the person that you're coming into, sheesh, feels good. And I'm getting this high regard energy because of this Hierophant with the King of Pentacles. It's like being held to a high regard. It's like where they go, it's like people like them, people love them. Yes. Listen, y'all, we can go into a whole thing about your houses, about the signs and the placements and the degrees of those placements and all that type of stuff. If y'all want to start doing more astrology type stuff, let me know and we can start getting into that and talking about that kind of stuff. But anyway, this Hierophant energy is giving me like being held to a high regard. And, I feel like spiritually, emotionally, this person is also very mature. Okay. So this is a very mature individual, a very, very, very mature individual. Okay. So this is not somebody that's going to come off like a child or, in any immature type of energy. Okay. This person is going to be coming forward very straight up. That's how it's going to be. All right. You're not going to have to worry about any of that type of nonsense. Okay. Not going to have to worry about any of that type of nonsense. And you'll know that this is resonating for you if this is the type of person that you're dealing with, a mature, very stable, very in charge of their own energy. And, they give off that Big Daddy, Big Dick type energy when they're out and about. Like you'll know. You will know. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look a little bit further into this energy of love and how this person is feeling about you, their thoughts towards you in love. All right. So this is for Capricorn, Sun, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. We're going to take a look at this person's thoughts towards Capricorn in love. How is this person feeling towards Capricorn in love? So we have date night. We have gifts and offers. So this person definitely, they want to take you out. They want to take you out. They want to go on a date. They want you guys to hang out. They want to give you something. Like I said, I feel like there was this element of surprise that was coming through as well. So this person may definitely want to surprise you, take a step back. I feel like this person is in the background watching you, about to make some sort of a move here. Be gentle. Very nice. All right. So because the bottom of the deck, you got wedding, delicacy, shadow work, masked offer. Here we go. Back to the forbidden energy. So right now, before all of this commotion starts to go on, what this person is thinking about is looking at everything from the bigger perspective, right? And that's really that Hierophant energy, as well as the Page of Cups and the Knight of Cups, kind of taking a step back and really looking at all of this energy for what it is. All right. So this person, they like to be in flow. They like to have their energies very balanced. They're very, they're very much into the chi and all that type of stuff, and really just the meditation and being very much at one. So this person is a very gentle, individual. So just understand that, Capricorn, but they're wanting to come forward with a very loving and surprising offer. And I mean, we were picking up on that as well with the Knight of Cups and the Page of Cups. This person, don't get me wrong, they when it comes down to the time to be sexual and to be intimate and to be passionate, they will. But this person is a very loving individual. They care, they care a lot. They will hold you to a very high regard, and they're very respectful. So that's kind of what that energy means. But again, bottom line is this person is looking for something long-term, something that's going to bring, faith back into their life as in regards to relationships, someone that they can build with and create with and have some sort of long-term stability with. All right, so let's go ahead and I want to use a tarot, but for some reason I'm not feeling these decks. Let's see. Y'all don't mind me. I'm just out here trying to figure out which decks we're about to use, because I like to change it up if y'all can't tell. All right, let's see. I haven't used this deck in so long. What wants to come through for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter in regards to this Page of Cups, King of Cups, Knight of Cups? Tell us about the Page of Cups, King of Cups, Knight of Cups for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Four of Wands. Four of Wands. Four of Wands. One more time. Four of Wands. Commitment, commitment, commitment. Wanting stability. You guys, I mean, come on. This is emotional commitment here. Eight of Swords, being stuck in that mind frame, mindset. My mind is blocked. Okay, Four of Pentacles. Lots of, and the Lovers. Good golly goddamn, this motherfucker. Are you scared? Are you scared? Because we got the Two of Cups, the Hermit, and the Nine of Swords. Somebody has got some anxiety. Anxiety. You'd be like, boy, what? But we have to remember to be gentle with these masculine energies, especially those that are high conscious. You want to know why? Because they're very far few and in between. And when we mean be gentle, we don't mean coddle. We just mean we have to understand the energy that they're in and where they're coming from. And we see that with the Eight of Swords and the Four of Coins. Motherfucker is stizzy stuck, but it's a mental stuck. And that mental stuck is creating a physical block. But, it's around making a move towards what they truly want, which is literal commitment with you. And it's crazy because there's no other person on the board besides them. And about what they want. So it's very clear that, this is it. This is it. Show us energy for the Hierophant, King of Pentacles, please. Show us energy for the Hierophant and the King of Pentacles, please. For Capricorn in love. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. It is a whole new experience for them, Mia. It's a whole new experience for them. And they haven't, look at this. Two of Wands and the King of Cups. Oh my God. They haven't, run into anything like this before in their life, and it can be scary. So we have to be gentle with them as well. We have to take our time and be like, listen, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. So we have the King of Cups and the Two of Wands. Yes. So double King of Cups now is on the board. You have that King of Pentacles and the man holding a coin. So this heavy masculine energy with emotion, wanting to open up this new box. And again, we kind of see the suspension in, what do you call it? Like the middle ground where there's like nothingness. And it's basically waiting for them to make a decision here, to open up that next box, to use that key. Go with what you feel. This person's emotions run very deep. Let me see. I did. Thank you so much, my love. I did get the PayPal. I love you. I appreciate you. You know that. This person's emotions runs very deep. Very, very deep. And I feel like they are running deeper than they thought they would. Their feelings towards you. Which is, again, why there's a little bit of hesitation. Six of Coins. You guys are going to be receiving some sort of a gift. And again, we see that with gifts and offers. They could even be trying to send you something, send something to your home. And here we have this Queen of Wands. So now we have finally another energy on the board, and it is feminine Queen of Wands energy. This person sees you as a gift, physical gift. You were beautiful. You were sexy. You were powerful. They see you as literally a queen. They see you as an individual that stands out from the crowd, stands out from the rest. Somebody who knows how to get what they want. And, you don't use your body, you use your magic to get it. It's not about... It's not about your physical traits, even though you are a very beautiful individual. It's literally your freaking magic. It's how powerful you are, how much you can create and bring into life and make change. And they say your eyes are like one of the most powerful features on your body. They say it's literally life-changing. Your eyes are life-changing. And it's not through the reflection of what others see within you, because they see them. Some of you here are reflectors. If you guys have ever done the body design art, just like, we have our different like personality types, the ENFJ, INFJ, PET, whatever. It is the design of, again, it's based off of your birth information, your energetic design. And some of you are reflectors. And if you Just look up body design and type that information into Google. It'll come up. It's free. Take a look at that information. For me personally, I am a reflector. I am an INFJ reflector. Reflectors are a very rare and small piece of the population, but someone here is a reflector. Okay, so let's go ahead and keep going. There's something very alluring and lustrous about you as well to them. Something very alluring about you to them. You're very, very alluring. They're very romantically drawn to you. Very romantically drawn to you. Very into you. Capricorn. I don't know what else to say. This person's just very into you. Very, very much into you here. And I feel like they try not to let that overwhelm the rest of the emotions and the feelings that they have for you. We're going to clear up the board so we can get some more cards on board without it being too clustered. Because y'all know me, I don't like things being clustered. All right. Do. Have not used this deck in so long, so we're going to use the Lover's Oracle. If you guys wanted to know, we're going to use the Lover's Oracle. Transformation. Your relationship with one another is about to deepen. Love conquers and transforms all things. All right, so this connection, relationship, because I feel like it's going to turn into a relationship. This relationship that you guys are about to come into is a very transformative one. And I feel like it's going to be very known. It's going to be felt. Just as this person feels your energy off of this door, the energy between the two of you is going to be felt within that relationship aura when you guys walk around. It's like people are definitely going to be feeling the energy off the two of you. Like, you know, the two of them are very transformative beings. You know, the two of them coming together are, you know, very powerful individuals. And I feel like this is also just stating that, again, y'all are going to deepen each other, like growth. It's going to allow y'all to grow. Look deep within your heart and you will feel my love. My love for you is as deep as the ocean. I'm telling you, this person's emotions and feelings for you runs so deep, deeper than you could imagine. And I feel like it freaking scares them. I feel like it scares them. All right. I feel like the amount of emotion and feeling that they have for you is deeper than what they could have ever possibly imagined. And then, my beloved, though we may be physically apart, spiritually we are always united, for love transcends space and time. Nothing is missing. You and this person are so spiritually connected, and they understand that now. I feel like this is an understanding that even though y'all may be in separation, y'all may not know one another, you can feel this energy so strongly, so deeply, that you feel like you're living a relationship with this person, even though you're physically not. You feel like you really are, and this person feels like they are. And it's a little bit scary. It's a little bit scary because it's like, why do I feel like I'm living and breathing and with this person even though I'm not? And it's because of the depths, and it's like, I have not experienced something like this before. I'm scared. I am scared. And then we have soulmate. Your soulmate is already with you in spirit. Believe this, and they will manifest physically. This person is coming. Do not fret. Do not worry, you guys. It is okay. It is okay. Y'all are so awesome. Janessa, thank you for being here, girl. Leanna, thank you for being here. Empress Goddess, you already know. Mia, you already know. David, thank you for being here. All right, we're getting a couple more cards. I'm just trying to, I just like to stay organized so it makes it easier for me to not be so caught up once I'm done. All right, we're getting messages here. Messages from your person. Messages from Capricorn's person, please. The person that we are here tapped into. Messages from Capricorn's person, please. You have depth. That's what I love about you. Oh, really? Oh, really? Is it the fact that we're not plain Jane, plain Joe? Is that the reason why? Oh, really? We know. We know, baby. We know, baby. You ain't got to tell us, but you can tell us. Janisha. Okay. I will remember that, baby girl. Do not worry. Messages from Capricorn's person. You make me so nervous. Y'all, listen. See, and it's because of the energy between you and them. It's scary. You're scaring me. I'm scared. I ain't never been scared before. You know what I'm saying? Woof. Woof. Hold on. How many more flipped over? Way too many. And then some fell. Hold on. Okay. What else do we need to see here from Capricorn's person? This is from Capricorn's person. I want me and you to take a trip. You were right about the things that I needed to see. Wow. Capricorn. Here we have someone who loves you. They care about you. They appreciate you. They love the fact that you're not just surface level. They love the fact that there's so much more to you. You make them nervous. You scare them. And it's because the energetic vibration off of the door. Like, every little thing you're doing got me feeling some type of way. Like, oh my God. They wanna get away with you. I'm not gonna walk away anymore. And last night I thought about you before I fell asleep. Every day. Yeah, they love you. I talk to you a lot in my head. Ooh, listen. Hello, Jasmine. Welcome in, beautiful. Hello, Chrissy. Thank you for being here. Monica, hello. Andre, hello. Thank you all for being here. This person, and I know I'm not the only one. And, sometimes I know we can live our lives and we can feel very isolated, especially with some of the experiences that we have behind closed doors. But I know I'm not the only one that you literally can feel like are living a life with this person, with this energy, in another dimension. You pick up on what's going on. You pick up what's happening on another timeline. You guys are having full on, conversations with one another. And sometimes you may find yourself talking or responding out loud, and you think to yourself, why did I just respond, to something out loud? Or why am I, picking up on these things? And it's because of how intuitive and how empathic you are. And it's important to recognize when these things are happening, because, you aren't alone. You aren't isolated in those experiences. We all, do experience them. We just don't necessarily talk about them. And this person, for them, that can be a little bit scary or nerve-wracking, because they have not yet experienced a connection where that has occurred, or where they feel so, drawn in a higher level of consciousness. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not just they, oh, I'm kind of having a crush, thinking with the wrong head. No, they are thinking with the another eye type of situation. Type of situation. They're thinking with another eye. So it's like they have this feeling that goes so deep that it can be a little bit nerve-wracking. It can be a little bit scary. So boy, oh boy, and this person consistently thinks about you. And it's not just before they go to sleep. It's, before they go to sleep, while they're asleep, when they wake up, when they're doing their day-to-day thing. They love the fact that y'all can have conversation and talk about things that aren't just surface level, and this really puts them in a position of wanting to do more with you, wanting to kind of get away from the everyday life and experience you outside of that, to see what you're like outside of that energy. And it's because of how much they feel for you. Again, it's that energetic vibration that they get off of you. It's like, how when we were kids, sometimes, when we were in our rooms and, you could hear your parents or your grandparents or your aunties and uncles talking, or you could hear somebody getting in trouble or some shit like that. You're just like, let me try to listen through the door. Let me try to peek through the door. And that's what this person is trying to do. They see this wonderful, magical door. They see you. Very beautiful soul. You're very sexy. You're very, alluring. This person is very attracted to you, not only physically, what they physically can see, but what they energetically can see and feel. So they're trying to peek through this door without fully accessing it, because they want to know. And it's getting to the point where it's like, it's not enough. Like the small energetic interactions aren't enough. Like the 5D energetic interactions aren't enough. Like they need something that's more. They want to know more. They want to see more. And they're realizing that the more that they want, it's because of how connected they actually are to you, and how much of a blessing you actually are to them. Okay. So, whew. Y'all are blowing it up. Oh my goodness. I love y'all so much. Don't forget to listen to the announcements, you guys, at the beginning of the reading. Really, I can just repeat them real quick if you guys are just now joining in. We will be having a 5K giveaway on this channel. I will be giving away anywhere from 2 to 5, 3 to 5 personal readings once we hit 5K. So just so y'all know, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Y'all are the best. Bomb diggity. But we're going to do the Intuit Oracle. I also have my main channel, which I do collective readings on. That's Jasmine's Intuitive Tarot. And then I will be posting zodiac readings for air signs, water signs, and fire signs over on my third channel, Messages from Jay, because I'm trying to get my ish together. So we have the Thief and we have the Broom. We have something that's sudden, unexpected, a surprise, something that also is dealing with removal of unwanted stuff, a purging, a releasing, a letting go. And then we have the Moose, imposing powerfulness, independence, time alone, confident, cool, calm, collected, and confident. This is very interesting though, because we have 9, 10, and 11, and this is really This has actually never happened in a reading before. 9, 10, and 11 coming out of this deck all together. I feel like someone's confidently making some sort of a move. Confidently making some sort of a move. Confidently doing something. And I feel like this has a lot to do with... I'm going to say it. It's the end of energetic bitch assness. I said it. Okay. And what I mean by that is someone is finally having the confidence to come forward. Someone's finally taking the time to come forward and make some sort of a move, be very confident within themselves. And a lot of this is, again, having to do with coming towards you. And, you know, removing unwanted stuff from their life is energetic gunk. There's actually... What is the reading I posted?
And this is live reading.
It was a reading that I recorded earlier today. It's going to be posted on Messages from Jay. It's going to be a zodiac reading, and it talked about energetic junk being removed from the system. Okay. Yeah, look at this. We have the Lion, majestic energy, authority. Again, more confidence, more confidence, more power, more strength energy that's coming through. And then we have the Woman, feminine energy. And it's interesting because feminine energy only came out twice in this reading today. It only came out twice, the Queen of Wands in here. And then we have Spring, new moon energy. New beginnings, fresh start, excitements. So I would not be too surprised if something unexpectedly comes into your life from this person. And I feel like this could be...
I'm waiting on him too. He knew it.
How do I want to put this? It's going to be like a succession of things. So it's like one thing will happen, the next thing will happen, and then this will happen. And you're going to recognize the patterns in how those things happen for you. And what I mean by that is, like, say one day you know, on Monday you get the sign or the synchronicity. On Wednesday, somebody calls you and you have this random conversation. And then on Saturday, this unexpectedly happened. There's going to be the succession of things that occurs within your life that you're going to pick up on, and you're going to be very, 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 you're going to be very, very, very aware of this.
Hey, Tina, how you doing, love?
When I was talking about the rareness, I wasn't talking about the INFJs. I was talking about the reflectors and the human design. But yeah. All right. So we've got this fire energy, the elements of fire. See, it literally says expect the unexpected. That's just confirmation right there that this is how exactly it's going to happen. There are going to be synchronistic events that go on in your life that you are going to consciously be picking up on. And you're going to be like, did that really just happen? And then, did that really just happen? And then, did that really just happen? It's like you're going to be, and you may be writing these things down in your journal. You may be, for some of you, it may not be physical things. It may be dreams that you're having. It may be just signs and synchronicities that are coming up. It may be, you know, happening through conversations. It may be happening through confident actions that you are physically taking. And you're like, oh shit, like, did I just do that? And you're like, shit, did I really just do that? And then boom, this happens. It's like, just be kind of aware of like, what's happening. We do have the man here at the bottom of the deck.
Thank you for dropping by.
So we have the Star, which is Queen of Air energy, Aquarius energy. It says for timing within 2 to 4 weeks. This could be during the winter time, January 22nd to February 21st, which is Aquarian season. It also talks about Uranus being the ruling planet. This is the Star. And this is the Archer energy coming out. This is number 1. on target, quick, precise, the matchmaker. Within the next 2 to 4 weeks, this is when this energy is going to be occurring. So over the next 2 to 4 weeks, or, you know, if this energy has already been popping up for you, I would say from then to the next 2 weeks or so, this is going to be a very quick, direct, and precise, unexpected energy. And if that makes sense, it's quick, direct, precise because it's very focused, but it's going to be unexpected. So whoever it's coming from, they know exactly what they want, and whoever it's going to be very unexpected here. And we do have the moon at the bottom of the deck, and we have the ship, and we have the clock with the star. So I do feel like for some of you, this could be like a surprise trip, you know, kind of a surprise getaway. You guys are kind of going somewhere. This could be, I would say, like over a weekend, or maybe like over like a night, like 2 nights or something like that. If it's not 2 nights, I would say 4 nights or something. You guys are definitely going to be going somewhere very romantic, something that, you know, brings you guys to this sense of sexuality, sensuality, and affection with this other person. I am picking up that there is divine timing. So timing is everything within the situation. Definitely going somewhere, travel. There could be a boat involved. You guys could be going on some sort of a cruise or a vacation or some sort of adventure. The nighttime stars and the moon are actually really important here. With this stars, it does say wishes come true, miracles, something blessed, but something going on at night. Something happens at night, which could be a part of the unexpected type energy. All right. So this is getting clustered. We're going to clear the board again.
I love her reading. She is so sweet. And she's so genuine. She's a Capricorn too. But she do all the signs.
Some closing messages.
She got a lot of Capricorn in her chart.
We're going to use Kipper because we love Kipper. And I think Kipper loves us.
Confirming everything I already been feeling.
We're going to take a look at this energy here for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. This is for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Please, Spirit, and pertains to this reading.
After this reading over, then I'm going to go into CG.
What do we need to see?
But I can't have to catch a live, and I don't believe in coincidence. I'm led by the Spirit.
So we have imprisonment, number 29. This is for Capricorn, courtship, occupation. Thought something else was flipped over. Anything else we need to see here for Capricorn in love? Child. Wealthy man and despair. Okay. With gift at the bottom of the deck. So I'm going to be straight up. For some of you, there's going to be someone that comes into your life that you're going to have to make a decision between working and not working. For some of you, this is going to be a decision between allowing someone to take care of you and, you know, continuing to work towards your own hopes, dreams, and wish fulfillment here. And I don't mean like completely cutting off like your financial supply from independence, Capricorn. What I mean is there's a very healthy, wealthy individual here that's coming into your life that's trying to offer you some sort of a large gift. This person is really wanting to take care of you. This is a person that wants to have someone by their side. This is someone that wants to grow their family. This is someone that wants to, you know, create and have some sort of a home life, right? And I'm not saying that you can't work. But there's this energy of career coming from this occupation, and it seems as though with everything that's going on here, with this type of connection, with what this person is doing, and with what you're doing, there's going to have to be a little bit of give and take. And I feel like that's where this message of concern comes in, because I feel like this message of concern is actually coming from the feminine quality. The feminine energy is worried or concerned maybe about her career and about where she's going to go. But Capricorn, I feel like this is a part of your own individual test that Spirit's trying to offer you, especially if this is something that you are feeling. It's okay, am I really being told that I can't make my own funds or this like that, or am I being pushed to find my real path, my real true potential here within my life, and a part of that is having to do with this relationship, and the other part may have to do with being a little bit more open to what my gifts and abilities are as a light worker, as a starseed, as an empath, right? Because I feel like there's a little bit of worry or concern about losing skills or losing abilities when you step away from a certain position. And with this occupation, despair, and imprisonment, it's almost like tying yourself here in a very devilish type way to what you do day to day in the mundane. And it's like, is this really what you do, or is this just kind of how you pay your bills, Capricorn? Because if that's the case, then what is it that you truly are trying to give to this world? You know what I mean? Especially if there's somebody that's coming in with an opportunity to let you receive. Now, for some of you, this is definitely going to be an opportunity, a new opportunity that comes in for you, where you're getting ready to build some sort of, like, this person is allowing you to build up your career. So for some of you, it's like almost the opposite. This person's coming in and, they're putting you in a position where you're able to really focus on your career. Maybe before you weren't really able to focus on going back to school or doing something else, or whatever it is that you're trying to create for yourself. Maybe you wanted to start your own business or something like that, and you really weren't in the position to do so. There's somebody that's coming into your life that's giving you this opportunity. They're giving you this, they're putting you in a position basically where they're saying, hey, you want to go back to school? Go back to school. You want to try a new job? Try a new job. Don't worry about the funds. Don't worry about the finances. This is something that, I will be able to take care of. This is a gift that they are giving to you. And there's this concern here, concern or worry, because again, feminine quality, and this is learning to live in your feminine energy, Capricorn, especially if you're a feminine Capricorn, learning to receive from another individual.
Yeah, because
I not really focus on other things, right? This is you being concerned, like, am I going to be okay? Hell yeah, you're going to be okay. You're only going to be okay, though, if you believe that you're going to be okay. There's a gift coming in. This person is literally telling you, we're going to be all right. Let's do this. You know what I mean? You want to go back to school, go back to school. You want to change jobs, change jobs. You want to do this, do that. You want to start your own business, start your own business. That's what I'm talking about. This is something that I want to do with you. This is a new energy. Y'all just have to believe. And we have marriage here with house and privileged lady. Capricorn. I ain't saying y'all going to be housewives, but this person, y'all going to be okay. You're not going to need to worry about much of anything. This person loves you. They care about you, and they're putting you on a pedestal. We have to be willing to receive these energies, because sometimes we're so much in, and sometimes we think that we're in our feminine energy, but baby, if we can't receive and let these blessings come in, how are we? Okay, so it's learning to be okay with the changes that we don't have control over, and allowing Big Daddy, allowing freaking Daddy.
Come on, Daddy. Come on and get your baby.
Right? And if you are Daddy here watching this reading, it's having your feminine be open to receiving the energy that you are giving. Okay, it is something serious. Something serious. All right, let's go ahead and get a couple more Do I want to use this?
And
no,
she
we're
do
gonna
long
use.
readings. That's what I like.
We're gonna use.
She don't do those 15, no 10 or 15
Whispers
minutes.
of Love. Decks that I just have not used in quite
Especially
some time.
Capricorn, because like I said, she's a Capricorn.
Oof.
But it's energy intense.
What do we need to see here, Spirit? Closing messages for Capricorn. Closing messages for Capricorn. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Oof.
Mm-hmm.
Oof. Number 20, I love you. Oof. Sheesh. Sheesh.
Yeah, she feeling that thing.
Practice compassion and love who you are.
That's right.
See things from a fresh perspective, and you are divine, delightful, and deserving of wonderful things that life has to offer. Baby.
Amen. Beautiful.
You are divine, delightful, and deserving of all of the wonderful things that life has to offer. You just got to see things from a fresh perspective, baby. Relationship patterns at the bottom of the deck. It takes strength to recognize the need for change. Yeah, there is a huge change in the relationship pattern that you guys are getting ready to come into. Huge, astronomical. You wouldn't believe it. You just wouldn't believe the change that's coming in, okay? And that's why it's a little bit scary. It's a little bit nerve-wracking because it's an experience that has not yet been experienced. We're going to get our angel answers, messages here. So we've got get more information. Again, I feel like this goes back to the beginning of the reading where the person is trying to get to know you, trying to figure out more. Remain positive. And no need to worry. Y'all, this is your message. I love you all so much. I want to thank you guys for being here, joining me on this afternoon live. I appreciate you all, your energy, your essence, your support. I love you. Thank you. If you guys want to check out my main channel or my third channel that I will be posting on, go ahead and check out the description box. I will be putting all that information there once this is over. And I will speak to you all very, very soon.
Yeah, all right, I'm going to get Miss Time Stamp in here. Then we'll be ready to go into our spiritual studies. Give me just a second. 117:32. All right, my loves. Now, that was such a beautiful message. That really was beautiful. Beautiful. See, this is how I tell you, everybody reads cards differently. But you can tell genuine readers from the fake. So, my dear ones, here we go. Let's get into that timestamp was 117. I wrote it down. 117:32 for the Capricorn live reading. It ended at 117:32. So now we're going to go into spiritual study session. Spiritual studies session 3. That's Earth Vibes Tarot. Earth Vibes Tarot. And then once you get over there, you can drop to her description and subscribe to her other channels. Make sure you drop it to let her know the Empress Goddess sent you now. But you know, I only showcase the ones that I know and I feel like, you know, are very spiritually gifted and not out here trying to take people money, like a lot of them are. Now, Auntie Karen, she is, I love her to death. Auntie Karen be on point, baby. Anyone that y'all see me showcase on this platform are people that I really trust and believe that are really sent by the Most High. So we're finna go into spiritual study session. I think it's spiritual study session 3. No, spiritual study session 6. This talk connects the beginning of religion, shamanism, animism, and the modern day monotheism as it's understood in the modern day. Although this culture isn't well remembered of understood nowadays, he had a typo there. This talk helps us realize how much of our culture, language, and religious tropes are credited to the Canaanites. This talk subsequently helps us understand the Phoenicians, the Carthaginians, and the surrounding Egyptian and Babylonian polytheism of the ancient world. This is Canaanite polytheism, ancestor of Judaism, El Baal and Moloch, ancient religion and secret societies, by my guy C.G. Darling. Now he's gonna come back on. I had him on my platform here week before last, and he said he really enjoyed it, and he said we talked about him coming back. And Anisha, Anisha the Queen, he said, I don't know if Anisha been watching, but he said he really enjoyed her because she had some fantastic questions. He's going to come back on, but he doesn't know exactly when, because he gets paid to go around to different states, countries, to lecture on these topics, because this is his specialty. Plus, he's in school, university, getting his degrees and everything. So he told me he don't know exactly when he'll have a schedule open, but he will let me know, because he do want to come back, because he said he really enjoyed my group, my tribe over here. He said y'all are he said I really have a wonderful group of people over here, and he really enjoyed it. So he said and then it also helps him stay sharp, for when he has to do his lectures. He said it's good exercise, to keep him in tune. But he said it would be nice. I'm trying to tell y'all this while I'm still thinking about it. He said it would be nice if he could have any questions that y'all won't answer, if he could have them ahead of time. So if anyone has any questions that they want to ask him, get them to me. My email is on my channel, and about my channel. You can see my email address and everything there. Send me email me any questions that y'all want me to forward to him, and I'll get it to him. And then once we get everything, once his schedule, he said he couldn't tell me. He said he don't know if it's gonna be sooner or later, but as soon as he gets some time freed up, he will let me know, because I have his personal phone number. He has my personal phone number, email address, and everything. So I know how to get in touch with him. He knows how to get in touch with me. So without further ado, we're gonna get into spiritual study session 6 with C.G. Darling.
Welcome to session 6. In this session, we're connecting a lot of the topics that we've been previously discussing. The shamanism is a great bridge for us to establish where this all began. And in our Gnosticism talk,
I might not be saying that,
and our celestial hierarchy talk, we saw
my phone on charge is about
what
dead.
religion forms into later.
Cooking, so I'm gonna go grab me something to eat.
Although this topic definitely isn't as popular as some of the others, it is necessary in order to bridge the topics that we've been talking about. This being the transition from animism into full-blown paganism. So it might seem mundane to us to just say the Canaanite polytheism. How can we relate to this? However, this particular polytheism has affected more than we would first assume. So first, I need to say that the Canaanites were the pre-Israelites. They inhabited Israel before Hebrew really took towards the world. This is where Judaism comes from, is from the Canaanites. In this way, too, this religion that we're discussing is not exclusive to the Canaanites. This would also have been the same worship of the Phoenicians and the Carthaginians. Everything that I'm discussing as well is analogous or translatable to the gods of Sumeria, to the gods of Egypt, and as we'll see, would be an inspiration for the Greek pantheon. Something that we're going to have to discuss at some point, I hope I come back to it, is that usually this particular religion is very demonized by the early church and so forth, with claims of child sacrifice. So we can approach it assuming that this is propaganda, that they would very much like to discourage anything that would tie them to this. But we can also approach it that maybe the winners of history have changed the story. So we're going to try to approach this topic as unbiased as we can, and just get down to what we can call the facts. So I think it's prudent to first establish all the analogous archetypes of early pagan beliefs. And what I mean by this is we have a king of the pantheon. This is a trope of paganism. We have a king. We have the Lord of the skies or the heavens, or most topically, a god of time that is represented by the planet Saturn. In Sumerian, this is Anu, which is where we're later going to discuss the word Anunnaki. In our discussion of Phoenician or of Canaanite, or what we can call Semitic pantheon, this is El, or Yahweh, which you can kind of already see where this is going. And if, of course, in the Greek pantheon, this would be Kronos, the god of time, or the first leader. Similarly, we have the god of wind and storms. This, as we already know, would be Zeus of the Greek pantheon. In Sumer, it would be Enlil. And then in our Semitic, it's going to be Baal, or Baal, which we're going to discuss him a lot, along with El. And then we have the god of waters and the god of wisdom. So this one gets a little bit messy because it changes. With the Greek pantheon, we have Poseidon, the god of waters, and then we have Mercury, the god of wisdom. In Semitic, we have Kothar, which my guess is the root of the word catharsis, god of invention and the arts. But similarly, we have Yam, which is analogous to Poseidon, the god of the seas, the god of the ocean. And in Mesopotamia, we have Enki and Ea. So all of these different hierarchies, all the same archetypes are made, they just change names. So it seems as though there was one original inspiration of which we could say was Mesopotamia and Sumer, but that would be a little oversimplifying. So we're going to dive into El, and this is a very tricky topic because El simply means deity. So when you're reading these old texts, whether in Arabic, Ugaric, Phoenician, or Hebrew, El means deity. So you're not always sure if they're referring to the El or a El, if that makes sense. So when going through these old texts, and specifically the first iterations of the Bible, we are unsure what exactly is being referenced? And I'll give you a flavor of how complex this gets. So El moves to El Eltan, and then moves to Olam, or El Shaddai, or El Sebaoth, or El Du Yahweh Sebaoth, or Yahweh Elohim. So we see how through time the verbiage changes with different characteristics in each verbiage. But in all of these, since we're moving all the way from El to Yahweh Elohim, is this the same El, the El of the Canaanites, or is this thought to be another god? This is where the confusion comes from. So El is the Father God. Essentially, it plays that trope that gives life to all things. It is the Creator God. Yahweh in Ugaritic texts, which, mind you, Ugaritic just means, it's like Levantian, which means that it was more of the north, like Lebanon, than it would be of the south, like Iran. They said in their text that Yahweh, or the God of the Old Testament, was the son of El. Now, this would seem heretical to say, but we're talking history at this point. Another key distinction I want to put here ahead of time too is that the difference between paganism and what would become Judaic Abrahamic monotheism is that in paganism, the gods have a sexual life. They are sexual beings. They kind of have almost orgiastic and strangely incestuous relationships, whereas Yahweh, as it would become, is essentially sexless. There are no, God doesn't have a wife. That's made very clear by the canon of Abrahamic religions. However, in this time, Yahweh did have a consort, as they called it, and that was Asherah, which we'll talk about her soon. Another word for El, or a different god, we're not sure if this is the same god, is Elyon, and this means the Most High God. This is Hebrew. So Elyon could be a different god of the Canaanite pantheon, or it could be another form of El. Some say that it's the son of El, and then there are others that contradict this. And mind you, this will all kind of make more sense as we keep going along. These are the kind of building blocks that I have to give out to reach understanding here. So Elyon denotes the highest or uppermost. Another one that we might see is Elohim, as I mentioned, and Eloah being the singular version. We would just get rid of all these additions in Hebrew to eventually just say Yahweh, but it's all just to say that it's very interdependent. El translates to Yahweh. Now, we should spend some time too discussing how El has affected our language, being even English, and to say Babel, Babylon, is Bab-El, the gateway of God, or the highest one, Babel. And to spend some time on that too, there's been arguments that Babel comes from, the sound of babbling, which would be the confusion of all the languages diversifying there, or how a baby always, its first words technically are always ba-ba, ba-ba, babble. So there's a lot of meaning to take out of this word in particular. When we say illumination, or to become illuminated, meaning the light, Elum is the same word for the godhead of the Canaanites, Elom. To them, it would have more meant to be strong than it would have meant light at this time. And Israel does come from El. He who strives with God is the etymology of Israel. So some other names I have to put out there is when they would refer to El, sometimes they would refer to him as Abu Shamana, which is the father of years, or Abu Adamai, the father of man, Adam, or they would call him Father Bull. So again, if you go back to the Mithras talks, the concept of the god of time being slayed by Mithras, that god of time would have been El, the father bull, El being depicted as a bull. They also similarly would call him Tore I, or bull, the bull god. And another would be the Bantnu Benwati, which is the creature of creatures. So, you got a lot of nicknames in this polytheism as well. But just, it's curious to dissect. Again, we have to bring out this bull worship aspect of the ancient past. So we're going to get away from El right now, which we'll have to discuss later because he's a big part of this whole story, and talk about Asherah. This is the mother goddess. So similarly, Kronos and Gaia were the original titans, the great father and the great mother. And this is the same case. In the Canaanite tradition, there was El and Asherah. And I also mentioned that Asherah was apparently the consort of Yahweh, whether we believe El is Yahweh or someone or another god is Yahweh. So Asherah is associated with sex, justice, political power, and war. This is synonymous, give or take, with the Egyptian Isis, or the Sumerian goddess Inanna, or the Persian Ishtar, or Esther. And this word, Asherah, is the root of where English, moving through Greek, would eventually get the word star, Asherah, star, because Asherah was associated with the evening star, the goddess of the evening star. Is that Venus? Venus being, Aphrodite, yada, yada. Dissect that as much as you want. She was also known as she who walks upon the sea. So she's the top god or the top goddess. And there was a lot of reverence for her within the Canaanites. They would build what are called Asherah poles, which there are these big wooden pillars, oftentimes stylized trees that were symbolic for the tree of life, which might have some implications with Kabbalah, but that's a whole nother subject. These poles were erected all around, I guess we can call it the Middle East. However, when the time comes, Christianity will want to destroy these old monuments, and we can find this in the Bible. We can find it in Exodus 34:13. Break down their altars, smash their sacred stones, and cut down the Asherah poles. Similar taste is like what you find in Deuteronomy 6:4. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Continuing to say to destroy these poles. So that's the reference. If you read across the Bible and you find Asherah poles, it's a specific reference to it trying to distance itself from its Canaanite origins. Asherah was the birthing mother of 70 or 77 or 88 different gods. This is all unclear depending on what text you're translating. So, as I was sort of mentioning, the Canaanite religion fell under what would be considered pagan worship. So in the same way, as our Zoroastrian talk, even though Zoroastrianism was very much a part of Christianity and Judaism's beginning, it distanced itself immediately. We see the same thing here with the Canaanites. It's kind of like forsaking its fathers or its lineage, so in a certain way. Of course, by the Christian interpretation, Asherah, God and Asherah being together is a heathen. It's heretical. It's viewed as a perversion of truth, that God does not have a wife. So this is something that Judaism would do away with, aside from the Kabbalah. In the Kabbalah, that's mysticism. That's a different story. There is a god and a goddess in Kabbalah, but we're not going there right now. We will eventually, though. There's a hint for the future. So this is one that I really want to talk about. And it's not Baal. It's not Baal. We'll get to that, though. He's a big character. But I want to talk about Moloch, or Moloch, which this is really interesting because it seems to have more implications in the modern day. Moloch appears as an old man with ram's horns and a scythe. And he gets mentions in the Old Testament. And it's never a good thing. This would be the god that they accuse of sacrificing children to. And this is an evil sun god. Their concept of the sun god was evil. So this is something I want to spend some time on too, because Baal is the god of storms. So they're living in the desert. So of course Baal would be a big deal for them, because they'd want that god to favor them so that they could get rain, so that they could eat, so that they could drink. Whereas Moloch, the god of the sun god for them would have been a terrible god, because that would have been the heat, that dries everything out. And so they would have thought as the sun as something more negative in their particular culture. So we have to be mindful of why certain things are evil and certain things aren't, depending on what pagans we're talking about. So, where do I even want to begin with this? Moloch has gone by several names. I think Topeth, and no, that's not it. What I want to bring up is the cremation of care ceremony, where they discovered in the Grove of California the elites performing ritualistic sacrifice, or pretending to perform ritualistic sacrifice under a giant statue of an owl. And I think it was, I'm forgetting his name right now. You all know the guy who recorded this and, became what he is today. But he was claiming that they were worshiping Moloch. But Moloch was never depicted as an owl. The only god that was really depicted of an owl, especially the ones that I can find, there might be more, but that's Minerva, and that's a Roman goddess, which was a goddess of music, poetry, wisdom, commerce, medicine, crafts. This would have been like worshiping creativity and wisdom and knowledge. So, but if in that way, they claim, the people who perform the cremation of care claim that they are doing a play. So it makes sense that they're worshiping Minerva. And you can find this owl logo for the National Press Club. If you look up the National Press Club, those who run the higher echelons of the media of this country, their logo is an owl. And if you look at the $1 bill, in the one that is up in the right corner, if you look very closely, even if you can get a magnifying glass, there is a little owl up there. So there's some subliminal Freemasonry stuff there that we have to mention. But the mention of them making a sacrifice, if they are actually doing this in the cremation of care at the Bohemian Grove, Moloch would be the guy, especially if we're going to say that the elites are very malevolent and coercive people, then this would be the god of capitalism, which I want to spend some time on. So they would definitely want to worship Moloch. That makes a lot of sense. But again, the owl doesn't quite fit the case. So before I get to Ginsburg, Moloch is Saturn, and Saturn is always astrologically and in many religions associated with very negative things. It is the controller of the celestial wheel, sacrifice, death, Saturn would eventually cognate into Satan. So all that is bad, to those that would worship Saturn in the ancient past, that always seemed to be of bad news. I think in Sumerian, this is Nergal, which had its own cults, which is a fascinating topic I'd like to get into at some point. But Ginsberg wrote a poem. Allen Ginsberg wrote a poem on Moloch. And I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's actually pretty vulgar. It's not that I'm not willing to be vulgar, but it's actually also very long. But I want to kind of establish the air as Moloch is understood. So I'm going to quote some of it. Moloch, filth, ugliness, ash cans, and unobtainable dollars. Children screaming under the stairways, boys sobbing in armies, old men weeping in the parks. Moloch, the heavy judger of men, the incomprehensible prison, the crossbones, soulless jailhouse, and the Congress of sorrows. Moloch, whose buildings are judgment, the vast stone of war. Moloch, the stunned governments. Moloch, whose mind is pure machinery, whose blood is running money, whose fingers are 10 armies, whose ear is a smoking tomb. Moloch, whose eyes are 1,000 blind windows. Moloch, whose skyscrapers stand long streets like endless Jehovah's. Moloch, whose factories dream and croak into the fog. Moloch, whose smokestacks and antennae crown the cities. Moloch, love is the endless oil and stone. Moloch, whose soul is electricity and banks. Need this be any more clear that Ginsberg very much believes that Moloch is the oppressor side of the matrix of the world, the unforgivable absurdity and inhumanity that we see in the modern day, that we relate to, and that has always been here. For Ginsberg, this was the blind force and maliciousness of the exploitation that mankind has become trapped in. So Moloch is a bad dude. So very reasonably, he would be made into one of the higher figures of demonology in Christianity. Him would be reasonable. All these other gods will also become demons in Christianity, but we'll explain that. So when you think of Moloch, in any references that you might ever see, I think he gets some names in some TV shows too. You got to think of the very worst part of humanity, the exploitation, and sacrificing children to Moloch, if that was true in the ancient past, would have been viewed as a means of satiating his bloodlust so that others wouldn't die. To show respect to that evil would be a way of sparing some of the suffering that he is sure to bring. Okay, Baal. This is a big one. Baal is going to be a big part of Christianity and a big part of paganism to come. This is not an evil god. This is actually the hero god of the ancient past. This is the god of storms, or the cloud monster. So god of rain and storms. And again, that's why the Canaanites made Baal the biggest deal in their pantheon. There is Zeus. This is what would eventually become like Zeus for the Greeks. So aside from being a hero, his wife was Anath, which is the goddess of fertility and sexuality, which we'll get to a little bit later. He enjoyed the top spot of the pantheon, being worshipped well beyond the Canaan. And Baal simply means Lord. So this word is also confusing. El meant deity, Baal means Lord. So when it comes to what Christianity and Judaism will eventually do, it's hard to say that Yahweh is just El, and it's hard to say that it's just Baal. it's kind of as though they mixed the two together to make like the mega god. Which, something before I forget that I want to mention, there's verses in the early Bible of them refuting Baal worshippers. And by basically saying, all right, you guys will all pray for rain to Baal or Baal. Some people call him Baal. And we'll pray to our God that it won't rain. And so this is how they would like show whose God is true. It's like a God competition, like making your dads fight sort of a situation. That's how it was, or at least how it's quoted in the early Bible. And the story, as it's told by them, of course, is that, rain doesn't come. So, Jehovah is the winner. But anyway, I'm going to move on from that. So, of course, eventually Baal's reputation would become completely damaged. And we'll give more of the hero stuff here in a second, but it would be damaged because, again, they would claim that offerings would be made to them, sacrifices would be made to Baal, that they were all leading the wrong path, so to speak. They would try to completely erase this past. And by doing this, they actually took the form of the word Baal and moved it a few steps down the line, which would eventually become Beelzebub, which, again, is one of the highest demons in the demonology under the devil. So directly we see Baal would become a demon under Satan by the name Beelzebub. So they're not just, these demons are actually the gods of the polytheistic past, which I think is an interesting realization to make. That's the power of the press, though. We don't remember the story as it was. We remember as it's been passed down through history. So you could blame Baal or Beelzebub for all the terrible things that are happening today, thanks to how history's been passing down. So there's this thing called the Chaos Conf, and this is how many religions rip off one another. And Baal had this dispute with the sea god Yam, and also had disputes with the god of death, which would be we'll get to that in a bit. But one of Yam, or the sea gods, or Poseidon's monsters, was the Leviathan. This was in Canaanite, the name is Lotan, which is a 7-headed, fire-breathing, like crocodile-looking sea monster, which would directly get ripped off by the Old Testament, with God slaying Leviathan with his shining sword and so forth. However, this was originally passed down via Baal. Baal was the one that killed Lotan. So that is one of many stories throughout all religions that tell this tale. One that I haven't mentioned on this talk, but I've mentioned a few times around, is that here in Wenatchee in central Washington, there is a tale of how Saddle Rock was formed. And that was a trans-elemental serpent that the Wenatchee had a story of, that was slain by who they refer to as the twins, and its body would fall and create peaks around the Wenatchee Valley, and its spine would fall into the lake in Chelan and become a sort of mythic sea monster that people still know about today. So this story of the serpent goes a lot further than just Baal and Lotan. And when we see the story of Leviathan, you can't think of it as more of where it's coming from. There is an original story that all of these old religions, including all the way in Native America, would use. There's a trope there. That's what's referred to as the Chaos Conf. Okay, I got a little sidetracked there, but I want to do some quotes that show where Baal is coming from in the Bible, at least. So Jeremiah 19:5 says that Baal requires human sacrifice of the firstborn, and that the priest of Baal, in rites of wild abandon, scream loud, ecstatic cries and injure themselves. So they make them seem like they're just so insane. That's coming from Kings. So God directly confronted paganism through his prophet Elijah. And that's where we got that competition. Hey, is your God going to make rain, or is my God going to not make rain? And so this is where we get a lot of this demonizing material, is in Kings and in Jeremiah. There was no response and no one answered because no one paid attention when they worshipped Baal. In Matthew 12:27, Jesus calls Satan Beelzebub, linking the devil to Baal Zebub, the Philistine deity. The Baalim of the Old Testament was more like a couple of demons masquerading as gods, the Baalim, and all of the idolatry that's ultimately said to be devil worship, and you can find that in Corinthians. So that's just setting up the case of all the kind of slanderous stuff as it would be understood in history. But to the Canaanites, Baal is the real deal. Baal was their Zeus. So if you want to think of it in this way, Zeus is Beelzebub. That's how this works, according to how it's been co-opted by Christianity. Now, I mentioned Anath, and I'm not going to speak of her long, but that was the wife of Baal, and the goddess of war, depicted wielding an arrow. To the Egyptians, this god would be Anat, from Anath to Anat. And we would eventually find something similar in the Greeks with Artemis, the goddess of the hunt. But in Canaanite, Anath was a lot more vicious. So here's just a quote from the Ugaritic scripture. She smites the people of the seashore, destroys mankind on the sunrise. She piles up heads on her back. She ties up hands in her bundle. Anath gluts her liver with laughter. Her heart is filled with joy. So while I'm making the case that there was some co-opting of the Canaanites to make them look far worse, I have to also say that these myths are rather savage, and they are rather vulgar and crude. But this isn't uncharacteristic in the ancient past. This is how paganism worked. This is how they talked about these things. Another god that we have to mention, all of these gods that I'm mentioning too, by the way, you can find in the Old Testament. All of this is a reference to the Old Testament. I'm not talking about the gods that are part of the Canaanite pantheon that aren't part of the Old Testament. That's how I'm keeping this talk a reasonable amount of time. But the other god that we have to mention is Dagon, and this is the god of agriculture, inventor of the plow. This was the chief deity of the Philistines. So instead of Baal, it was Dagon to the Philistines. Dagon was the father of Baal. He was also the fish god. Dag in Hebrew means fish. So he's depicted as a half fish, half man creature. Dagon would also be an inspiration for H.P. Lovecraft's like Monsterverse. Basically, he would use the name Dagon directly, rip off the Canaanites. Dagon was the god of the primal waters, the provider of grain. So to the Philistines, who had more of an agricultural basis, it makes sense that Dagon would be their big deal, that they would want to praise Dagon.
How are you today?
The fact that it's a fish god, I think, has a few interesting implications, most notably the fish crowns that the pulpit or the Pope and the bishops wear. I know there's the association with Pisces, which is another thing, but there could be a root here with Dagon being this fish entity as well. The idea is that we eventually stemmed from fish. That was a part of the historic story of the Canaanites, which would stand the test of time, as they say in science, is that, eventually, like a long time ago, we were fish, and then one fish turned into a mud skipper, and then that mud skipper hung out on land long enough, and all the mammals came, and yada yada yada. So maybe they were on with something about Dagon being a fish. So you get a mention of Dagon in Judges, where we are told that Dagon was the god of the Philistines, that he offered a great sacrifice, that the Philistines offered a great sacrifice to Dagon, believing that their idol had delivered Samson into their hands. So there's this kind of contentious story that goes on. And in Chronicles, it mentions Temple of Dagon, of which the head of King Saul was fastened. And in Samuel 1:5, Dagon is brought to humiliation by the true God of the Israelites. So in all these strange references of the past, you see how the Old Testament is this story that's basically destroying all the Canaanite gods. They're basically made this one God to destroy all the others. So it's as though Old Testament is like a story of polytheism being defeated by one of its own. And to claim that it's a monotheistic doctrine is not really accurate, because it's referencing all these other gods, but we'll get to that in a bit too. So Dagon was actually the real deal for Hammurabi, King Hammurabi of Babylon, which, as some of you may know, Hammurabi would be the one to create Hammurabi's code. Everybody might know of the saying, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. This is the first instance of what you might consider law in the ancient past, and also is tied to why Rastafarians are so negatively associating Babylon and speaking so poorly of Babylon, because this is with this law, this act of creating law, and also with Moloch being this element of capitalism that we see today. Both of these aspects would have been coming from Babylon and would have eventually been viewed as the perversion of the whole earth, that it all started with the Canaanites and Babylon and these particular gods. But anyhow, Mot is Hades, or Mot is the Canaanite god of death. It is the favorite son of El, and the enemy of Baal. So here we have the case that the god of death is enemies with the god of storms. So there's in the Canaanite myth, these two will always fight with each other. One of them dies, and then they get brought back. So let's go through some of this verbiage here. The word mot, mortal, mortality, perhaps coming from mot. Maltese say mute. Syriac says mata. Death is also an Akkadian muti, which would come from mot. So you can see when we say the Phoenicians too, we have to understand that a lot of our writing and a lot of our vernacular comes from phonetics, which is a direct reference to the Phoenicians. So when we speak of these old gods, we have to realize that a lot of our words are paying homage to these old gods.
The link is in the chat.
There's a lot to say on that topic. Yeah, I don't want to get into that. As I mentioned somewhat before, Mot is in Sumer what would have been called Nergal. So I haven't mentioned too often the Sumerians in this, which they are an inspiration. But the reason I've stuck with the Canaanites here is because the Sumerian references are not necessarily found in the Old Testament. It's all about the Canaanites when it comes to the Old Testament, and the Phoenicians. The only references to Sumerian gods are maybe the instances of the giants and apparently the mention of the Anunnaki, which I am not going to get into that subject here. That's a whole nother thing. But the difference, what I want to talk about here is the worship of the gods in Canaanite times seemed of symbolic. Like they would worship the rain because they needed the rain, and they thought that the sun was evil because the sun was their detriment where they lived. Whereas there's a lot of arguments that the Sumerians believed that these gods were actually incarnate or physical beings. It was a lot more literal. And of course, there's all the people who speak of like Nibiru and Zechariah Sitchin's interpretations of them, to the point where they believe that these old gods are either human alien hybrids or actual extraterrestrials. But you don't find this in the Canaanite religion. And that's why it's not a big topic when we're talking about all this. They did inspire a lot of these concepts of the Canaanites, but I can't really say much more than that. Also, they did inspire this whole chaos comp myth that I was talking about before. It was Marduk versus Tiamat in their belief, in their religion, and also in Babylonia. So where do I want to leave off with this? Okay. Oh, before I get off the topic, I want to talk about Babylonia, just as a side note, or Babylon, or Babel, the Tower of Babel. This is what got me started on this whole subject, but honestly, it's very difficult to talk about what was really happening in Babylon because of, again, that we're getting all of our word from the Christian and Judaic concepts or history written, as opposed to the actual history itself. I mentioned before that Babel has also, in verbiage and etymology, meant to confuse. So the name might have been changed from what it actually was. The Tower of Babel was a temple to Marduk, and again, Marduk was their Baal, their chief king deity. So, as it's told, God disrupted the work of building the Tower of Marduk by confusing the language of the workers so that they could no longer understand each other, and that this city was never completed. So that's as far as that really goes. It's just to say that, yet again, this act of God in the past that destroyed what was being done by the polytheists is an intentional one. It's co-opting the past and making it work with the new idea of your God, if you can understand where I'm coming from with this. And this also would be why the Gnostics would completely disregard the Old Testament as a completely separate God than the God that they worshipped in the New Testament.
That's true.
And why we also see such a characteristic difference between the...
You know why? Because the God of the Old Testament is very different from the God of the New Testament. The God of the Old Testament was revengeful, was all about an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. But the God of the New Testament was turned the other cheek. Love, you know what I'm saying? I mean, they couldn't even get it together.
Old Testament God and the New Testament God. That the Old Testament was basically trying to kill the dogs of the past. They were trying to appropriate history through the Leviathan myth, or through talking about how all these other gods become demons, and the New Testament was kind of just using all of that destruction and building off of the settled waters, so to speak. Okay, so I'm gonna have to go through some scripture again. I don't like doing this, but it has to be straight from the word of the book. Exodus 6:2-3. God says to Moses, "I am the Lord. I appeared to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob as the Almighty, God Almighty," or as it's originally written, El Shaddai. "But by my name, the Lord, Yahweh, I did not make myself known to them." So here's the distinction here. The distinction between the God as declared as El Shaddai and the God Yahweh. So this is confusing if you take the literal translations. what God are we talking about? Are we talking about different gods here? Deuteronomy 32, 7 through 9. Remember the days of old, consider the generations of long past. Ask your father, and he will tell you, your elders, and they will explain to you. The Most High, El Elyon, which I mentioned before, gave the nations their inheritance when we set up the boundaries for the peoples according to the number of sons of God, El, for the Lord's Yahweh. For the Lord's Yahweh's portion is his people. Jacob is allotted inheritance. So in that line alone, we get three different references that seem to be different gods in a certain way, or different names of one god, or how should we understand this based off of the Canaanite history, right? Psalms 89, 6 through 10. For who in the skies above can compare with the Lord? Who is like the Lord among the heavenly beings? This is a reference to gods or Baals. O Lord God Almighty, who is like you? You are the mighty, O Lord, and your faithfulness surrounds you. Your rule over the surging sea, and when its waves mount up, you still them. You crushed Rahab, which is Leviathan, or another form of Lotan, like the one you slayed with a strong arm. You scattered it amongst your enemies. See how convoluted this is? Psalms 89, 6. In Hebrew. For who in the skies compares to Yahweh? Who can be likened to Yahweh among the sons of God? And these are gods, which are Elims. So another reference to the fact of there being other gods. I'm going to cut out some of these because honestly, I hate quoting the Old Testament too often. But you see my point here is that it's the verbiage of what is God and what is Yahweh, El Elim, Jehovah, Eloah, Elyon, El Elyon. These can be what? The Lord of the New Testament, or speaking of other lords, or this is the argument that I want to make from all this. Is it so coercive to say that perhaps this all is a worshiping of the old Canaanite El, or the old Canaanite Yahweh, and that actually Christianity or early Judaism is built on just making the worship of one Canaanite polytheistic entity as opposed to something else entirely? If you can start to imagine how the Canaanites would have interpreted what was done with their pantheon in the Old Testament, how would they have felt about that? There's a lot of arguments here. The old pharaoh Akhenaten in 1353 BC, just about, tried to make a monotheistic religion out of the polytheism of Egypt, centered around Aten, or the disk of the sun, the god of the aspect of Ra. This is what is referred to as Atenism. He tried to make monotheism work, but after his death, his temples were destroyed and the whole idea of Atenism was basically done away with, and his name was left off the list of the pharaohs. So this happened before the Old Testament, and even before Zoroastrianism really came about. So I kind of retconned myself here and said that Zoroastrianism had a lot to do with the birth of monotheism. But the truth is that Akhenaten was one of the first to try it, and he failed. And that this thing called pantheism, which is basically where you have polytheism, but there is one big boy that everybody worships. That was very common in paganism, but to try to get rid of all of the rest of them was something that was never really done. Like I said, Zoroastrianism had Mithras as one of its gods, but it did still make one god supreme. So in this way, this is how we can finally get around to the point that I want to make. that Judaism was the first one to get rid of all of the rest. It was the first time in history, after many attempts, to make it all about one ruler. So why, though? I mean, this move is very politically motivated. It's also very historically motivated. We can't just say that it's spiritually motivated. As I hope that this talk has been making clear, this was very much a cultural move, the Old Testament. And as to why, we can only really speculate. I've heard it claimed that monotheism supports monarchy, the idea that to have one lordship would subliminally make it easier for the greater people to worship one ruler or one tyrant or one dictator, and this would have served the kings. And this can be backed up when talking about who was at the Temple of Nisai, who was putting together the Bible, who was writing it actually, and to what ends. Was it something that was coercive in order to achieve a means? Was it for domination? And you could back this up by seeing what the church became later, how it was this ruling force that got rid of everything around it, all forms of paganism, all other forms of Christianity that didn't like, how it became so vicious in this. And so it makes sense that you could say that Judaism in this form and in the mainstream form and later Christianity were concocted to appropriate dissonance and to appropriate all the various beliefs so that one thing could be ruled with or ruled under. And we also have to keep in mind too that back in this time, religion is synonymous with politics. The rules of a nation have everything to do, or the laws of a nation have everything to do with its religious structure. So in order to change the laws, you had to change the religion in a real sort of way. So this can help kind of contextualize where Christianity is coming from a different perspective. And mind you, this is definitely a more negative perspective. But at the very least, we have to be able to say that it does seem a bit much what was done with the Canaanites to deceive its ancestry and to not kind of, it's one thing to not mention it, but it's another thing to completely subvert it. And that the origins of Judaism are the same as the origins of the Greek pantheon. I think that's a very interesting statement to take away from history, that this is the root. So although Mesopotamia and Sumer have a great influence on civilization as a whole, what really would become the religion and society as we know it can be in another way more accredited to the Canaanites and their polytheism. We still see references to these gods, whether in the demonology of Christianity or pop culture. There is an argument here that the secret societies of the past that would move to the Vatican, that would move into the Knights of Templar, that would form the International Banks of Switzerland, that would form the Illuminati the same year as America, that would form, that would create blood feuds and wars over dominance in the Civil War, and would create the Federal Reserve, and that all of this was perpetuated through a secret society that has always worshipped Canaanite polytheism, or Moloch, or Baal. So there are people who claim that all of this subversion of the world, and again, the cremation of care, is rooted in Baal worship. They call it the Baal cult or Baal cult. And I don't want to go completely there. I'm not saying that it is true. I'm not saying that it's not true. But you will find a lot of Canaanite symbology in elite depictions and iconography and symbolism of the Freemasons. There is a claim to say that those in the higher eschaton, all the way up to the 33rd degree in the international lodges, are Canaanite worshippers, that these black masses are rooted in Moloch or in Satanism. And I don't claim to know that. I've never been there. They never invite me. But before I get too off the topic, the one last theme that I want to put out here is, I said in the beginning, this is the bridge between animism and modern day monotheism. And I hope this has been made very clear that in animism, they eventually started to come up with certain concepts of certain phenomena of the world, started ascribing a character to the sun, started ascribing a character to the weather. When they would see lightning flash, they would think that the gods were fighting inside of the clouds. They would think, they would start to personify and tell stories of the entities as they would come up with them. And their objective proof for these phenomena were what the gods would do. When the sun would do this, when it would go away, when it would come back, that was like a personality. When the clouds would be dark, that was a personality. And when they would spew lightning, that's another personality characteristic. So you can see how polytheism has formed around the natural world, but starts to become a sort of reverence, that they start to do things like sacrifices, and that it starts to become so much more serious. And eventually, through it becoming more categorical, it would kind of implode on itself and birth out monotheism for reasons that we can't necessarily discuss, other than maybe political, maybe historical, maybe it has to do with the truth. Maybe it was all about, Zoroaster, all these monks coming down with, visionary experiences of one beatific entity over all, and that all of them are essentially nothing. It's very convoluted. And I have to say too, that this is probably one of the hardest research subjects I've done so far. It is definitely the least straightforward, because this is such a messy point in history, and it hasn't survived, except for if you want to claim that it survived in secret societies, which they're pretty tight-lipped. So it's hard to say the implications. It's hard to say the interpretations of the past. And aside from a few choice statements, we can't really say too much about if they were good or if they were evil. The one thing that we can say is that this is very influential. This is a big part of how the religion that we know today as the common religion of Abrahamic religions came to be. This is their ancestry, and this is our link to the ancient past. So with that, I will finally shut up. Okay.
All right, my loves. That's it for the presentation today. I hope you all enjoyed the content. The first half of the stream was a live reading for us Capricorns. And the second half of the stream was my guy CG Darling. I will have the timestamp down in there. So this ends at 2. I'm just gonna say 2:24. All right, my loves. This is your girl Empress Goddess, the Georgia Peach with the sweet meat. As always, my loves, if you like the content, please consider subscribing. Give me a thumbs up, share. Leave me a comment down in the box below. I say, as above, so below, as within, so without.